guys, Willie here with W.T.F car reviews, and today we're going to be reviewing the all-new 2025 Honda Civic Sport.
And a big thanks to Alex and the rest of the management and staff here at Ocean Honda in Port Richey, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to your inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car, SUV, or truck in the Port Richey, Tampa, Clearwater area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out and ask for Alex.
And for those of you guys who don't know, the Civic started off as Honda's subcompact car in 1972. Moving up to the compact segment for the 7th generation in 2000, and sticking to it through the 11th generation that we have here, released in 2022 with a slight facelift this year for 2025, featuring updated headlights and front bumper and an all-new available hybrid powertrain. Honda also ditched the standard output 1.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder, leaving the non-performance or hybrid models exclusively with Honda's bulletproof naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder. The non-hybrid Civic sedan for 2025 is available in two trims, the $24,000 LX and the $26,000 Sport that we have here. What else do we get for that money? Let's jump right in. So as we mentioned, we get updated headlamps and front bumper. The headlights are full LED with an LED daytime running light up top, functional airflow in the corner, and pretty solid airflow up front for the radiator for the 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. The red paint color here is really premium, contrasts the black accents in the Sport very nicely, making this sedan look a lot more sporty than the power figures necessarily would suggest. We get black Y-spoke 18-inch rims wrapped in Goodyear Eagle Sport all-season tires. The dimensions are 235/40 R18, so the 40 series sidewall, although it's a pretty low profile look, it should still be thick enough to keep the ride quality nice and plush, and the 235 wide tires should be more than enough to put the power to the ground. We have the black contrasted mirrors, no LED turn signal on them, but we do get blind spot monitoring on the glass. All black trim for the window trim. We can check out the window sticker here for the all-new 2025 Civic 4-door Sport with the rally red paint color and the black interior. $26,250 for the base price. No options. You can pause, take a look at all the standard features. It does get quite a bit considering this is the top of the line 2-liter 4-cylinder Civic for 2025. About $1,100 for the destination charge, totaling us out a tick over $27,000, 34 combined MPGs. We get smart access for the driver and a front passenger. The gas cap is push to open with easy fill. You can throw regular fuel in for this naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder. We get the same rear wheel and tire setup. The only difference is a smaller brake caliper. The taillights are not full LED. We do get LED brake lights, but the turn signals and reverse lights, as you see, are halogen. Shout out Ocean Honda in Port Richey, Florida for helping make this review possible. Chrome aluminum Civic, Honda, and Sport badges. Our exhaust tip in the corner. And speaking of the exhaust tip, let's fire up this 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, and here she sounds. Alright guys, that was the sound of the 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder sold by Honda for the 2025 Civic Sport. And it sounds okay, cranking out 158 horsepower, 138 pound-feet of torque. Made it to a CVT transmission. You can expect 0 to 60 in the mid to high 8-second range, so definitely not the quickest. But what you see is basically what we get. I'm using my hand as a prop rod right now, so it's burning like crazy considering it's like 95 degrees right now in Port Richey, Florida. But shutting it right up, we can walk around this 2025 Civic Sport one more time, and let's take a step inside and see what we get with a Sport starting around $26,000. We'll set the lights back to auto so the car's not yelling at me. You get rubberized texture trim up top, but it's just hard plastic. It would be nice to get softer material for the higher trimmed Sport. Some cloth material in the center and a gushy soft cloth armrest. We get 2-window auto on touch, power windows out rear, lock and unlock, 4-way adjustable mirrors, aluminum door handle, trunk release, one of your speakers. It's a pretty solid sound system, but it's not the Bose. The Bose is available for the higher trims, just not on the Sport or the LX. Solid storage. You'll fit a foot long and a 24-ounce bottle in front of it. The seats are this leatherette and cloth contrast with very solid bolsters for the back and the butt portion, but they're not electric seats. You can still recline, drop, lift, and slide the seats with latches, but taking a step inside, we can really check it out. So foot on the brake, engine start, stop, and everything fires right to life. So as far as the interior, really not a whole lot has changed compared to the outgoing Civic models. We still get the leather wrap steering wheel for the Sport. Very solid 10-2 bolstering notch, and 9-3 fits perfect in your hands. Thick rim, rubberized horn area. The horn, not the loudest or most aggressive, but people should still be getting out of your way. We get volume and skip controls on the left side, voice commands, adjustments for the left side infotainment, AM, FM, Sirius up top too. Right now we're looking at range and fuel. You can see your warnings, customized vehicle settings, no content, safety support, maintenance, seat belts, driver attention, speed and time, range and fuel. My personal favorite to look at all times. On the right side, we get our lane keep assist, radar cruise control with our adjustments up top, paddle shifters. The stocks have a very satisfying click, auto headlamps, no auto high beams or auto rain sensing wipers wouldn't be expected at this price point. Tilt and telescoping steering column, interior brightness. The air vents are outlined in aluminum and they feel very premium. We've been getting these style air vents in the Honda lineup since 2022. Traction control, you can disable hood latch release and hopefully get a good look at the aluminum outline pedals. The dashboard is soft touch materials. The 7-inch touchscreen does not get navigation, but we do get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Volume dial has a nice premium feel. Skip controls beneath it, phone, radio, media, and connect for the shortcuts. The backup camera, let's check it out. Decent resolution, not the best, not the worst. Guidance lines and trajectory. You get 3 different views. You get a wider view and an over-the-top view, so you can maximize the space between you and the car behind you. Throwing right back into park, we'll return right back to the previous screen. 3 additional air vents down below, but I like the way that they connect to each other, making it look a lot more premium. Single zone automatic climate control, defrosters beneath it, 2 USB-C ports, 12 volt right next to it. Very solid amount of storage space. You'll be able to fit probably 5 or 6 phones in there. Some faux carbon plastic trim surrounding the gear selector for the CVT transmission. 2 cup holders, you'll fit 24-ounce bottles. Drive mode selector, we get normal, econ, and sport mode. We'll start off in normal, try out econ, try out sport, and just see what the differences are. You turn off the auto engine start stop, electronic parking brake with brake hold, cloth armrest, which is very soft, gray contrast stitching, very solid storage space too. You'll fit business cards and coins up top, and you'll probably fit 3 1-liter bottles of soda in there. Very solid amount of space. The glove box, let's see how much space is offered back there. It's damped, not lined felt, and decently spacious. You'll fit probably 20 license plates, easily fit a pair of shoes. I don't think it's wide enough to fit a second pair. Thin frame rear view mirror, it's not auto dimming. You have this flappy thing to dim it. Interior lights are LED. Headliner is pretty basic. That's about it though, guys, for at least the front seat of this 2025 Civic Sport. Let's hop out back, see how much space is offered back there, as well as the overall quality of the materials. So up top, it was hard plastic up front, but out rear, same materials, but it feels a little bit less rubberized. We don't get anything soft in the center either, but the armrest is still gushy, soft cloth. We get a power window, 2 speakers on the door panel, solid storage down below with an aluminum door handle. The rear seats are still that leather and cloth contrast, but we don't get any padding for the door frame area. We can unbuckle the seat belts. Legroom looks solid. I'm a little bit over 6 feet tall sitting behind my seat settings, and I still have about 3-4 inches of knee room, headroom, about 2 inches. So if you're under 6'4", 6'5", you'll be able to sit in the back of a Civic with no problem, which says a lot considering this is a compact sedan. Unfortunately, no air vents. We do get a hump for the exhaust system. No map pockets behind either of the front seats. The interior lights back here are also LED. We get a hook for the driver's side grab handle, no hook for the passenger side. We get a leatherette armrest, which we can open up. It's nice, soft leatherette material. You'll fit a 24 and a 16-ounce water bottle in there. That's about it though, guys, for the back seat. Let's hop out to the cargo space, see how much space is offered back there, and then take this 2025 Civic Sport out for a drive. So the hinges are not covered, so make sure you're aware of that so you don't end up crushing your cargo if you stack it too high. But as you see, we get a massive opening and a very large cargo space. I'll leave a link right here to show you exactly the amount of cargo space back here. And the wheel wells, although they protrude, it's still very wide. You fold the second row seats down 60-40 split. I'd expect you to fit a 60-65 inch TV through there. For a compact sedan, that is impressive. And to fold the seats down, you got latches in each corner. Secret storage, let's see what we got going on underneath all these floor mats. Probably gonna be tough for you guys to pick it up. Spare tire, and you got your fix-it flat jack, and you can fit some stuff outside of the spare. That's about it though, guys, for the inside and outside of the all-new facelifted, updated 2025 Honda Civic Sport. It's always been a very large and practical vehicle for the compact segment, especially since the previous generation. It was starting to get a little bit more sporty too with the optional 1.5-liter turbo 4-cylinder, which I understand why they got rid of it. I know a lot of you guys that are new to driving want the most performance possible for the money, which I do understand, but Honda has built a reputation of reliability and dependability, and this 2-liter 4-cylinder is very reliable and dependable, whereas that 1.5-liter turbo is seeing a lot of problems. So although it was about a second and a half quicker to 60 than this 2-liter, it was not living up to the Honda name when it comes to reputation and brand recognition. So they ended up ditching it and left it for the performance-oriented trims. Anyway, speaking of performance, let's take this 2025 Honda Civic Sport out for a drive and see what it's got. All right, guys, now we're just about seeing everything we need to see with the inside and outside of the all-new facelifted 2025 Honda Civic Sport. Let's take it out for a drive and see what it's got. My first impressions: the throttle has a good response with the naturally aspirated power plant. Not quite as good as the 2.4, but you wouldn't get the 2.4 in the standard Civic anyway. That was reserved for the Civic SI. For the 2-liter power plant, this feels good. Steering feels very sharp and direct. Honda's been doing a really good job lately for their sedans. When it comes to steering feel for their SUVs, yes, it's been feeling very, very light. We'll take a step out here. Yeah, the throttle feels snappy and responsive in normal mode. Yeah, feels good. The ratios are really smooth. Once you let off the throttle, the revs idle down. It's really quiet in here. Bump. Rides over it very smoothly. And the windows, although they're single pane, they're thick, so it takes out most of the wind noise. We'll see how it is when we take it out to some faster speeds. Same with the road noise, but for the most part, so far, really solid. We can take a step out here, lean into it a little bit more. Yeah, not a whole lot of mid-range. But yeah, you get up and go fine. I wouldn't recommend leaning into it more than you need to for just regular traffic or for slower speed limit roads, because you really don't feel much in the middle. Down low, it gives you a good amount of bite and response. Up top, it gives you a surprising amount of power, but in the middle, not a whole lot, so why waste the fuel? Might as well leave it out of those middle RPMs. We'll try it out in sport through this corner. The transmission immediately gets more aggressive. Steering feels about the same. Maybe a tiny, tiny bit more artificial weight, but the overall composure, handling feels good. Feels like it's more ready to go in sport mode. Bump still feels very soft. We can try out a real world turning radius test, see how sharp this 2025 Civic is. Pretty sharp, not the sharpest, but it's good enough. Try one out off the line. Not going to open her up too far, but off the line on the gas, not a whole lot until now. And even still, not a whole lot. But after 4,500 RPM, this thing really starts to come alive. But it does have a very good amount of bite between 1 and 2,300 RPM. So Honda did a great job with the tuning. If you're just light on the throttle, you're not going to consider this underpowered. It's when you're leaning into it and really on the gas where you're going to start to notice that this 4-cylinder only makes about 158 horsepower, 138 pound-feet of torque. The turbo made about an additional 20 horsepower, maybe 30 horsepower, but it made an additional 50, 60 pound-feet of torque, which allowed the 0 to 60 time to be closer to the mid 7-second range, whereas the 0 to 60 time here closer to the mid to high 8s. We could try out these manual ratios. They're decently responsive, nothing too impressive. Handling, on the other hand, is very impressive. The ratios, responsive. As soon as you press the pedal, the CVT reacts. Give this guy a little bit of space. Downshift to second. We can probably downshift to first. Long ratios on the gas. Okay. Yeah, punchy. That first ratio, though, will take you to like 50 plus miles per hour. That's my biggest complaint with CVTs, is just how long that first ratio. Ooh. Hopefully you see how snappy this response is in these manual shifts. But the CVT's first gear ratio is a little bit long. If they shorten it to about 35, 40 miles an hour, I could see 0 to 60 getting closer to the low 8s, maybe even high 7s if you get a really good launch. We can take a step out here, open her up a little bit more. And the first ratio on the gas, this is all the way down. Yeah, I mean, you look down and you're moving. It just does take a little bit of time to get there. You press and hold the paddle shifter. It returns you to regular drive mode. Try out a real world turning radius test. It is very sharp. We'll just let the ram pass. And on the gas. Woo! No need to beat it up any further. In econ mode, let's try it out. Throttle gets a lot less sensitive, but it's really quiet in here. The brakes feel good. Econ mode is a little bit too dull in my opinion when it comes to the throttle, but you'll get your 34 combined MPGs in econ mode. I'd personally leave it in normal mode. You'll still get probably around 31, 32 MPGs, but you'll get snappier acceleration and just better overall feel. In econ mode, yeah, like this is a third throttle. It's fine if you're living in like a downtown city, but any type of actual acceleration, you're gonna wish that you were in normal mode. Overall, if you're looking for a premium feeling, spacious, compact sedan that's feature packed, it doesn't have all the creature comforts, no power seats, no auto dimming rearview mirror, stuff like that. But for $27,000, you get a lot of features, you get a lot of space, and a very premium feeling and looking sedan, especially with these black 18-inch wheels with premium tires and 235 wide tires, putting the power to the ground and making this feel like a really well-handling sports sedan. If that's what you're looking for, guys, well under the $30,000 price point, I would 100% recommend checking out the 2025 Honda Civic Sport. And a big thanks to Alex at Ocean Honda in Port Richey, Florida for helping make this review possible. I'll leave a link to her inventory below, and if you're looking for a new car or SUV in the Port Richey area, I would definitely recommend checking these guys out and ask for Alex. And huge thanks to all you guys for watching. I had a great time making this video. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you so much. You guys know the channel is just not possible without you, and I really appreciate the constant support. But again, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Leave a like too, it really helps me out, the YouTube algorithm. That's how these videos get promoted to new people. Leave a comment, let me know what you like, let me know what you don't like. Leave a comment, let me know if there's any specific cars, SUVs, or trucks you want to see reviewed on this channel, and I'll definitely try getting those videos for you ASAP. But other than that, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope all of you have a great day.